So I saw a YouTube video recently from a YouTuber named Logical and Skeptical. And he posted it was two very interesting Facebook comments from a black woman. And I just had to share them with you guys because it fits in with the whole black feminist agenda to destroy black men thing that I've been talking about recently. Here's another prime example. The woman's name is Angry Divas, the Dark Divine Feminine. And she's anything but divine. She said, and I quote, "Yes, we are the prize. If the black man is being shot and killed, perhaps it's just his time to die. Why should any race of man who exists in opposition to nature survive? Black women have to get over this caping. In a thriving patriarchy, the black male is the laughing stock of the global community. He is a gross failure among men, as a man, and he conveniently blames his ills on white men. How absolutely unattractive. You can't act right because another race of men is so much more powerful than you that he doesn't allow you to. And now your plight as a man is so desperate that you need woman to help you. Sounds like the biggest loser on the planet to me. Should be left to his own failure, not helped or granted immortality through black woman. P.S. This has nothing to do with Willie Lynch. Black woman." She's so corny. Instead of saying black women, she says black womb men, saying black woman's womb. Oh my God, this is. Anyways, black woman once ran and ruled the entire globe. I don't know when that was. The color black represents the masculine because the first masculine was the black mother. We are masculine and feminine inherently, but black men are feminine and hyper masculine, which is a lethal combination for a male to adopt. Thus, black women have stepped into the role of the male using her natural masculine intellect. She saw that gap needed to be filled. This is wise. The method is not. The unnatural part is doing the job of the male because he is insufficient to do it himself. However, leadership, intellect, conscious awareness, while all masculine traits inherently belong to black women. Oh God, you know, I see stuff like this on the internet actually all of the time. Literally multiple times a week, sometime more than one in a day. I see similar things being said. That basically, now for the record, if I made a video, which I have done in the past, saying anything about a black woman's hair, I mean a single black woman's hair, an individual, I am accused of bashing all black women and told that my channel needs to be deleted, that I need to be killed, that I need to be beat up, or there needs to be some sort of other punishment for mentioning anything negative or even sometimes neutral about a single black woman individual's hair. Now, I've been falsely labeled as a black woman basher as a whole for basically saying that I did not like somebody's hair. And this woman right here is doing what I see, like I said, all of the time, which is what I would consider to be bashing. I mean, look at all of the things that she said here. For example, first of all, the black woman is the prize. In other words, you know, black men are nothing special. If they're being shot and killed, you know, maybe we should just let them die. Maybe it's just their time to go. You know, genocide. You know, why not? You know, why should they exist at all? You know, I mean, if they're in opposition of nature, whatever that's supposed to mean. I guess she means saying or doing anything that ticks her off. That's probably what she means. At least from what I've seen, the collective consensus is if a black man says anything that angers a black woman, then he's going against nature, because the black woman as a whole is mother nature. No matter how bad the individual may be, she gets to basically benefit from the woman welfare system that they all are a part of, and everybody else is just looking from the outside in. Weirdos. Anyways, she said black women have to get over caping. In other words, fighting for black men, standing up for them or whatever, because there's a thriving patriarchy, referring to the men of other races. And black men are basically doing the worst, which is not true. It's actually Native Americans that are in a more screwed up position than black people in reality. If you actually look into it and the statistics and whatnot, it's actually Native Americans that are the bottom of the barrel at the moment. The black man is a gross failure among men. As a man, she says, conveniently blames his ills on white men. How about I blame my ills on you? Because if you're supposed to be my natural partner and you're saying things like this, it sounds as if you're working against me. I mean, you said a lot in 2 damn paragraphs, 2 sentences. 2 sentences. You've put me down at least a half a dozen times. That's amazing. That might be a record. The black man is a gross failure among men and conveniently blames the white man for his ills, she says. How absolutely unattractive. Ooh, another insult. I'm not attracted to black men. Why are you talking about them then? You can't act right because another race of man is more powerful than you, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I wonder if Jewish women said this to their men during the Holocaust. How are you going to let these Nazi men take you over? I'm so unattracted to you. We're the prize. When you get gassed in these ovens, maybe it's just your time to go. There's a thriving Nazi patriarchy out there. You're the laughing stock of the global community. You can't even get out of this hot ass oven. You're a gross failure among men. Could you imagine if this is what Jewish women were saying about Jewish men? Could you imagine how crazy that they would be viewed as being? Your plight as a man is so desperate that you need a woman to help you. I thought we were all here to help each other. I mean, black women like this have no problem with helping each other. They also have no problem with helping white people, especially white men. No issue whatsoever. And I used to think that when I would see stuff like this on the internet or hear about stuff like this, like read it in a magazine or hear it on the radio, sometimes it'd be a caller saying stuff like this, or I would see it on TV, talk shows, sitcoms, etc. All this, basically the same narrative being said over and over again. I used to say to myself, now, wait a second. These women sound like they're lesbians. But then now I see a lot of them with white men that are saying this. So it lets me know that there's something beyond a lesbian. There's somebody who just basically hates black men. And they think they have the right to be this hateful and disgusting. Because they know the society won't do anything. Black women will defend them. White people will ignore it because they'll say, well, hey, she's beating down black men. That keeps them from being able to compete with us. I mean, when you have the enemy in your home saying stuff like this, how can you succeed? When black women are giving each other a hand to be helped and basically slapping the black man with that hand. Because if I say anything back to her, I'll be labeled as a basher. Kick her ass, you're an abuser. That's domestic violence. So she can basically bash and beat on you. You can't do anything back because the second that you do, you become the bad guy. And then that keeps you away from money. It keeps you away from jobs. It keeps you away from opportunities. And people don't want to deal with you. You get blackballed, as they say. Anyways, she goes on to say that the black man is the biggest loser on the planet to her and should be left to his own failure. In other words, should just be left to die. What this is a hit piece. He shouldn't be granted immortality through the black woman. What she's basically saying is this, in reality, that black men are hated by her so much that if they die, it's looked at as a victory to her. What she's essentially saying is, we need for black men to die for black women to progress as a race without black men. And a lot of you people would say, well, how can that happen? Won't black women die too? Well, if you've noticed, there's been a handful of black women who have popped up with billionaire white men. In fact, this was mentioned to me in an email where I was conversing with a black woman who's working on a documentary about the relationships between black men and black women. She was going to do a documentary about race until she noticed like there was just so much BS going on with black men and black women that she basically changed course and said, well, I'm going to focus on black people as opposed to, throwing in so many Latinos, white people, Asians, or whatever she was going to do. She said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about black people because there's just so much craziness, so much ridiculousness going on. So she wanted to, basically bring black people together. That's what she's doing with the film. And in an email that she sent me yesterday, she mentioned that Eve, Janet Jackson, and Mariah Carey are all in relationships with billionaires. And I briefly explained to her a little bit of information. Now, this is what I'll do. If you ask me for it in the comment section, I'll show you what I'm talking about. There was a Time magazine cover with a white man on the left side and a black woman on the right side. And they appeared to be in the Garden of Eden. They were basically there to represent Adam and Eve. Now, for the record, if you want to see this, say, where's the Adam and Eve link? And I will post it in the comment section. Okay. Here's the deal. At the top of the magazine cover, with the white man and the black woman as Adam and Eve, it says, "Countdown to War." It also says that this is a special report. In the middle of the magazine, it says they are, quote, "solving the mysteries of DNA." Towards the bottom, it says how gene science has changed our lives. In the very bottom of the text, it reads, "Visions of the future." Let's get it straight. They have Adam as a white man, Eve as a black woman. They mention a countdown to war. They say it's a special report. There's a mystery of DNA that they are solving. Gene science has changed our lives, right? And they say that they're basically giving us a view for their visions of the future. And they have a white man and a black woman on the cover. This will go over a lot of people's heads, but I just want you to ponder on that. Adam and Eve, white man, black woman, DNA, mysteries being solved. Visions for the future. With everything that I've seen, I believe that they are harvesting DNA and doing science experiments. If you notice, a lot of those black women who were with billionaires and multimillionaires, they either don't have children or they have very, very few children. I think that's very interesting. And I've seen a lot of things in my day and whatnot, being into the type of things that I've been into and having access to certain knowledge that other people would not just dream of, what would basically do anything to get a hold of. And, I'll just wait. I'll talk about it more in the future, but there's really some freaky stuff going on. But all I'm going to say is this: something's not right. Or as Brother DeWood would say, something's rotten in the cotton. Anyway, back to this angry divas, the dark divine feminine. She goes on to say, "P.S. This has nothing to do with Willie Lynch," referring to that letter that went around, allegedly written by a slave master, if I'm not mistaken. That's what Willie Lynch was. And he wrote some letter. If anybody never heard of it, look it up. WILLIELYNCH, Willie Lynch letter. And he basically, this alleged white slave master or whatever wrote some letter with the detailed blueprints about like how to create a slave, or however you want to word it. Yeah, the making of a slave, to be exact. It was, I shouldn't even be laughing about this, because a lot of the information, if you actually look at the way that things are going right now in society, it matches up with the way that things are. So obviously whoever wrote the letter, even if it wasn't real, they obviously, knew what was going on in the world around them. So they're obviously a very knowledgeable person, apparently. But what she said was, "P.S. This has nothing to do with Willie Lynch. Black woman once ran and ruled the entire globe." Okay, when was that? In what universe? I would love to know a lot more about that particular topic. I mean, if she honestly believes that, which I don't think that she does, I think that she's just trying. One of the hallmarks of people like this is that they use very grossly exaggerated examples. Black men are so lowly that they're absolutely worthless, and the black woman is God, queen of the universe, the ruler of the world, or formerly the ruler of the world. It's so ridiculously over the top. It's like one big joke. It's like you were trying to make a point. You were trying to bash black men and uplift black women and put a battery in their back. And I understand what the hell you were doing here. However, when you go into these extreme examples that are so incredibly exaggerated, it just basically ruins your point. Your whole argument is mute at that point. There's not even any reason to say what you're saying, because anybody with a half a lick of sense is looking at the screen reading this like, what the hell is she talking about? Of course, she cited no examples. She just basically threw out a bunch of insults. She didn't say black women once ruled the entire globe or something like that, and then posted a link to a book, an article from a magazine or website. There's no shred of evidence, just a bunch of talking, which is exactly how they want to keep it, because they're just making stuff up. The color black represents the masculine because the first masculine was the black mother. What? Where does... I don't even know how they come up with this stuff. These people have to be schizo or something. There has to be something basically wrong with their brain. There's no way that you could actually believe this stuff. And the fact that she got 20 thumbs up and then 10 thumbs up on the... She got 30 thumbs up for these posts. Can you freaking believe it? The color black represents the masculine because the first masculine was the black mother. Okay, and where did you get that bit of information from? We are masculine and feminine inherently. Okay, well, both genders have masculine and feminine qualities, but black men are feminine and hypermasculine. Okay, where did you get that from? I've never heard anybody say that about black men before, and I wouldn't consider myself to be hypermasculine at all. Of course, I have way more masculine qualities than feminine qualities, being a man and having testosterone and whatnot, but I wouldn't go there with saying I'm exactly hyper masculine. Like, how does somebody come to that conclusion? Like, did she just sit up there and say, what's something bad that I could say about black men and what's something good I could say about black women? Doesn't matter if it doesn't make any sense. I'll just throw ideas out there and just see what sticks. It's freaking amazing. She said, which is a lethal combination for a male to adopt. Yeah, I guess it will be a lethal combination. It's also a fake combination. The hell are you talking about? Thus, black women have stepped into the role of the male using her natural masculine intellect. She saw that gap needed to be filled. Black women have a natural masculine intellect? This, you know what? If I go trying to figure out her brain, I may end up as crazy as she is. Anyways, that is wise. The method is not. In other words, even if you're doing something wrong because your methods are not wise, you are still wise, black woman, because you can do no wrong. Even when you're wrong, you're right. Must feel great to be a black woman. Excuse me, womb men. Womb men. Not woman, woman. You gotta be freaking kidding me. The unnatural part is doing the job of the male because he is insufficient to do it himself. However, leadership, intellect, conscious awareness, while all masculine traits inherently belong to black women. Well, since the other patriarchies are doing so incredibly great, I mean, there's all sorts of crazy shit going on in China, in India, in other places, Europe, plenty of places in Europe with a lot of fuckery. Of course, she would never know that because the only thing she needed to see was some white, bright, anything other than brown skin on a man, and she calls them a thriving patriarchy, which lets me know that she knows absolutely nothing about what's going on in the world right now and the looming economic collapse of Europe and America that they've been talking about, well, definitely in America for decades now. Government shutting down and whatnot. And guess what? Guess who's going to get blamed if the government shuts down? Not playing around like they keep talking about the government shutting down. You know who's going to get blamed? Black women. They're going to say it's welfare and it's black women's fault. It doesn't matter if America spends $500 billion on the whole computer hacking problems that we have. It doesn't matter if they're spending $500 billion on the military, which is the greatest form of welfare. Warfare is welfare. It doesn't really matter because even if they're spending $500 billion or better year after year on the military or computer hackers or whatever, and let's just say, for example, they're spending 50, 60, 80, billion on welfare, which is far less. It doesn't really matter. because the way that things are perceived is welfare is the problem, and black men just can't go and get welfare like that. So if anything happens, black women are going to get blamed. But of course, this angry divas, the dark divine feminine, isn't smart enough to know that. But anyways, I digress. I could go into the different things that she's saying, in a much more harsh way, or I could provide examples for why everything she's saying is wrong, but I just felt like expressing myself today. I think that what she said was beyond wrong. I think it's disgusting. I think it's something beyond bashing. It's condemning. If I get called a basher for saying I don't like that black woman's hairstyle, and then she turns around and says this shit right here to the world and gets 30 thumbs up, I want to know, is this bashing? I would ask you to let me know what you think about it below, but I'm shutting the comment section off for certain videos and possibly all videos at some point, because there's a lot of BS going on in the comment section. People promoting, the interracial agenda and talking about how great white men are. There's a lot of black feminist agents, the type of people that were exposed in the plan by Statuesque 1. Remember, just contact me if you need the Adam and Eve link, because I forgot I'm going to cut the comment section off. Also, contact me about the plan if you need that, but you got to say what you want. The plan video, the Adam and Eve link, both, let me know one way or another. Somewhere you'll find me. And if anybody is coming here to do the whole promoting of the interracial agenda thing and talking crap about black men and how great white and other men are, I'm just gonna delete you and block you. I don't care if you were here since 2013. It really doesn't matter to me. I don't care if we were cool today. Like, I could have just had a great conversation with you 5 minutes ago. I will block anyone. Family member, doesn't even matter, because that's how I'm rolling at this point, because this shit is fucking ridiculous. Anyways, this is not my opinion. This is the truth. Let me know what you think about it somewhere at your own risk, because you'll probably be blocked if you say something stupid. Meat Magazine on YouTube, meatmagazine.blogspot.com. Follow me on Twitter at Meat Magazine, and subscribe to Meat Magazine. If not, that's fine. If you want to unsubscribe because you promote the interracial agenda, I strongly support you in that. So go ahead and click the unsubscribe button. More people will subscribe, and I don't have time to babysit. Meat Magazine. Let me see how many black women condemn this. A big fat goose egg, probably 0.